is officially that time of year where people disassociate from their old past selves to embrace becoming a brand new person. New year, new me. 2023 was a big year of self-reflection for me, and I really wanted to understand what I truly valued and how I wanted my values to be reflected on how I spent money in 2024. So naturally, I came up with a list of things that I will stop buying in 2024, like they are officially canceled. And stick around to the end for the one thing I definitely will be spending money on in 2024. And it's probably something that you're not expecting. Just to put out a quick disclaimer, don't take anything I say as financial advice. I am not a personal finance professional. I'm just a goofy girl in a goofy world just trying to figure out my personal finances. So with that being said, let's dive right in. This feels like a no-brainer for a 20-something-year-old, but I have no plans on buying a house in 2024. The current housing market is really weird right now. Like, interest rates are really high for taking out mortgages, which isn't inherently bad because this is usually balanced out by lower housing prices. However, if you're paying attention to the market, you might be noticing that housing prices are not going down enough to really balance these high interest rates. In comparison, 2020 was a crazy year for the housing market. Interest rates were low and housing prices were dirt cheap relative to today's prices. So houses were flying off the market like toilet paper was flying off the shelves in 2020 when the pandemic hit. People were literally submitting bids on houses that they've never set foot in and houses that were never professionally inspected. I don't know about you, but that seems very impulsive for making one of the biggest financial decisions one can make in their lifetime. And based on the articles that I've been reading online, that buyer's remorse is finally kicking in. 2020 homebuyers are facing challenges like their jobs requiring them to go back into office, so they need to move, material costs going through the roof, making home improvements really expensive and not worth it, repairs generally being annoying and time-consuming to deal with, or just the sheer fact that they hate their homes. Even with all that being said, people don't want to sell for a loss, so instead, they move out of their home and put it up as a rental. Fortunately, that makes it a great time to be a renter in the US. I also hold this belief that buying a home to live in is a really big commitment for someone who's under the age of 30. When there are so many experiences to be had and so many stupid decisions that need to be made. Like, I don't know where I'll be putting my roots down for the foreseeable future, so saving up for retirement or putting money towards a brokerage account sounds way more desirable, at least at this point in my life. Will I regret this in the future, financially speaking? Yeah, probably. As someone who considers herself a finance girly, I'm not perfect. I'm not immune to marketing. However, 2023 was a particularly rough year for me when it came to spending on clothes. Like, not only would I go to a website and add a bunch of stuff to my cart, but I would hit checkout like an absolute maniac instead of just closing out the tab. A little known fact about me, workout gear is my kryptonite. And I'm not trying to do laundry all the time because I'm lazy, but I also don't want to re-wear workout clothes because that's nasty, and I'm not trying to catch something. No, thank you. Now, the reason why I'm telling you this is because in 2023, there was a big sale at this athletic wear company that I've been eyeing for a long time. Like, this sale was so big, they were selling workout tops and leggings that usually went for like $75 for $6, $7, $8. Like, I couldn't pass this up. So at that moment, all of my critical thinking skills just went out the window, and I was just adding things to my cart all willy-nilly just to hit that free shipping minimum. Like, I straight up blacked out at this moment because I didn't even remember what I bought until the package arrived at my door. And when I finally opened up that package, I realized why all of these things were so deeply discounted. Like, everything from that order felt really poorly made, or they just fit off on me, which was crazy to me because this athletic wear company was known for making leggings that made booties look all nice and voluptuous. But when I put these leggings on, I was actually amazed with how they made my booty concave in. Like, my booty was giving Hank Hill from King of the Hill. And I'm gonna be honest, I haven't worn anything from that order. And I feel so bad knowing that I spent money on clothes that I'm probably never gonna wear. Not only because it was a huge waste of money, but the guilt that came with contributing to the textile industry that is actively killing the planet. That kind of hits hard. Hindsight is 2020, and knowing what I know now, I'd wish I'd just bought a pair of $100 leggings from a brand that I know works for me and one that I know is higher quality. At least what I hope is higher quality. I hope it's not just me, but have y'all realized that the quality of clothing in general has been going down? Like, I'm not talking about the known fast fashion companies like Forever 21 and Shein, but I'm talking about the clothing brands that I've always perceived as having high quality pieces, like Gap and Banana Republic. The last time I went to a Gap in person, imagine that, I just remembered seeing so many things on the floor that were made out of synthetic materials or had rougher and even stitch jobs. Now, I'm not sure if it was just that seasonal collection that was a dud, but it didn't feel like a good, nice, high quality experience. But also I need validation on this so I know I'm not crazy, so drop a comment down below letting me know if you've been noticing this trend as well. So this is the year that I will seriously be paying attention to the clothing that I'll be buying by limiting myself to 10 new pieces of clothing in 2024. I wanted to set this goal because I wanted to be a lot more intentional with all of the pieces that I'll be adding to my closet. Like, I want to focus on picking up higher quality items and also picking up pieces that I know will go with everything and I know that I'll be constantly reaching for. I'm only telling y'all this so I can hold myself accountable, so let's see what happens when 2025 rolls around. I love to travel. I know, it's so quirky, it's so unique. 2023 was just a big travel year for me. And generally when I travel, I like to pack pretty light, just a carry-on and a personal item. And I feel like I could do better and travel even lighter. And the reason for that stems back to 2010. Back in 2010, Spirit Airlines became the first airline to introduce baggage fees for carry-on bags. Not long after, other US airline carriers started following suit, like Frontier, JetBlue, and United. So in 2023, I took it upon myself to try one bagging. Specifically, one bagging with a bag that fits under the seat. So when I switched to only carrying one bag, I started becoming a lot more intentional with all of the things that I was bringing, mostly because everything that I add to my bag meant more things to carry and less space for souvenirs. My favorite strategy for packing light is surprisingly creating a checklist. And I usually end up bringing a travel capsule wardrobe so everything goes with everything. Just a handful of chargers, the bare minimum when it comes to toiletries and makeup, and 40 pairs of underwear because you never know. So just the bare necessities that I can just pop into my bag, and bada bing, bada boom, I just saved a really, really good meal's worth of money by skipping carry-on. Have you ever wandered into a bookstore and felt the sudden urge to buy every other book that you see, or go number 2? You are not alone. If I were to go to my local bookstore and pick up any random paperback fiction book, it'll run around $18, which, okay, sure, it isn't the end of the world if it is a one-time purchase, but if buying books become a regular thing, it can really add up. Books are so expensive, I've started measuring people's socioeconomic class based off of the number of books they have at home. Oh, you have a full-size bookshelf overflowing with books? Okay, go off middle class. Oh, you've converted your apartment den into an at-home library? You're rich. But wait. Let me put you on a little known secret. Libraries. I don't know if you know this, but libraries are free. I mean, technically you do pay for them with your tax dollars, but taxes are something that you're going to be paying for regardless. I hope. 2023 was a year that I got really into books. And the dynamic duo that changed my life was the Libby app and a Kindle. The way I get my books is through the Libby app, which is a free app where you can check out ebooks, digital audiobooks, and magazines from your public library, and you can read on any device that Libby is compatible with. Personally, I've never been a huge fan of reading on screens like on a phone or a tablet because it's just really straining on the eyes, so I decided to pick up this older Kindle. It's really basic, and it came out almost a decade ago, which is really not a high price to pay for unlimited books on a device that is less straining on your eyes than a phone would be. When I discovered the dynamic duo of having the Libby app and a Kindle, I feel like I just hacked life. So 2024 is going to be the year that I buy $0.
Never do I do that. Never. That's such a waste of money for something that costs 20 cents. I never buy a frappe latte, blah, 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 woof, 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 for $2.50. That's such a waste of money.
$3 cup of coffee at Starbucks is absurdly expensive when you compare it to making coffee at home for 20 cents.
You are peeing $1 million down the drain after you're drinking that coffee.
This is something I hold near and dear to my heart because a lot of personal finance YouTubers preach that buying coffee is one of the dumbest financial decisions that you can make on your day-to-day. But I don't necessarily agree with that. I don't think buying coffee is a horrible way to spend money, especially when there's intention behind it. And when I say intention, I mean using coffee as a way to meet and network with a potential mentor or to reconnect with an old friend. Coffee is pretty cheap and it affords a casual setting to meet up with people in a more meaningful way than through messages or calls. I also think there's intention in buying a coffee when the plan is to use the cafe as a workspace. I love going to cafes to work. I find myself being a lot more productive in cafes than I would if I were to work at home. But I do believe that buying coffee to go just for the caffeine hit is a scam, and that is a hill I will die on. And with that, I'll end the video. If you enjoyed this video, why don't you consider giving a big thumbs up just for the YouTube algorithm? It's free, it doesn't hurt, and consider subscribing if you want to see more content like this in the future. If you have any 2024 resolutions related to finances, drop them down in the comments below. I'd love to get some inspo. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. Toodles!